Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the Sun square or opposition the Sun in Synastry. Now, first off, the Sun reflects the basic characters. So the basic characters, the true self, or selves, I should say, of each person are not compatible. Um, and this would be especially true if this is square opposition by sign. In most cases that would be the case, such as Sun and Leo opposition Sun and Aquarius. Or another example, you could have Sun and Aries, square Sun and Cancer. The Sun in Aries would be too bruising, often too abrupt, abrasive for Cancer to handle as far as the basic personalities go in that example. Now, the thing about this is both these people, can be focusing on, different matters. And what I want to be kind and rewind, as far as, the opposition though may go. If this is a, situation where it's an actual relationship with significant other, the opposites can attract, but at the same time there still could be disparities in the basic characters which may have to be worked on, and the focus could be on very different matters. I mean, Sun and Cancer, as example, could have more of a focus on introverted home, domestic related matters, and the Sun, in Capricorn is more focused on career ambitions and gaining stature in life and social status. So you have to factor, keep that in mind when you're looking at these things. But anyway, and the thing is too, there's also a strong disparity in what both people would want. The Sun reflects our basic wants, and also too, it could be a clash of wills in some instances. The vantage points, it could be perception things, could be vastly different. And if this is a situation where these people are siblings, it could be a battle of one trying to get more attention over more attention than from the parents. So in some cases, this could be very tense, synastry aspect, but you have to keep in mind that it's important to look at, other, when you look at the, as I've talked about as far as natal charts go in my earlier videos, that you've got to look, at all the aspects, and, don't, isolate any one and, make an analysis of it. And the same thing would apply to synastry aspects as well. Somebody could have the Sun square Sun in synastry, but they could have their ascendant sextile or trine the other person's ascendant, and the outer personalities and outer demeanors could be very compatible. So the thing is, you just have to look at all the all synastry aspects when you're evaluating in terms of the compatibility between the two people. But anyway, now as far as this aspect may go, by itself this can cause I would say mutual exasperation, though. You can have a very strong disparity in the lives that these people live. It could be where you have it could, these people may diminish each other's vitality. The Sun has a connection with vitality. It's also creative energy. These people may, maybe there may be some difficulty in expressing themselves more creatively around each other. Doesn't mean they don't have the creative energy, but when you're around each other, it might be harder for whatever reason to actually express this. But the thing is, sometimes this connection can be very turbulent. There may be a number of acrimonious, disputes. You could have, the thing though is, again, as I was stating before, the opposites can attract. If you have the Sun opposition Sun in synastry, And if it's a significant other, romantic situation with the people, the thing about it is you could have and they are, if they're in opposite signs, then you could have, it could be some compatibility with that. But again, as I was stating before, there still could be disparities between, the two people, because the basic characters are, opposite in the way they express themselves and what they want, as some examples. Now, the thing about it is, the thing is, when you look at this, though, when you have like an opposite, when you have the opposition aspect, in Synastry, it could be, as an example, one can, balance the other out. Again, if it's a significant other situation, marriage partner, well, Leo and Aquarius as an example. The Leo is about loving, oneself, but Aquarius is the expression of universal love, and you could have some balance and equilibrium with this in that example. But the thing about it is to keep in mind the sun in astrology is connected with drive and motivation. These people they may have difficulty in finding either, whether it's trying to drive and motivate the other, or being driven and motivated to do activities, with each other at times. And there might be some, situation where these people can have problems in terms of doing that. And again, sun is about our focus and the attention. So the focus and attention could be on very, different matters when you have this aspect. But as I was stating before, you just have to look at all the synastry in a person's chart. And but if you have say this synastry aspect, you have the sun square or opposition to sun in synastry, and you have a lot of other adverse aspects in synastry, then it could really show the two people can often be at odds and adversarial, and it could be very difficult to work through. And the thing is, again, it's just important, just when you're looking at synastry, evaluate everything in the chart, not just isolate one synastry aspect, make some analysis of the relationship over it. But the thing about this too is when you have this the synastry aspect, you're talking about, squares in opposition can have friction, and tension. I was a situation one time where I was working at some restaurant, and I had a manager that had the sun in Aries, and it squared my sun in Cancer. And I think the abrasiveness, the aggressiveness, whatever, was just such where it was a little bit bruising for me. Even though I have different ascendant, I don't really show feelings being hurt. It did inside my inner, the sun is the inner, the true self, and that is where I felt somewhat hurt by it. And I'm sure there were things about me that were causing her tension and exasperation. As far as my basic character or true self, which is the sun in Cancer, this square can be rough, whether it's a situation where it's a romantic connection, or whether it's just people, acquaintances, or friends trying to work things out. Platonic situation, that can be rough. And the opposition can have some positive if it is a situation where there is a romantic connection, and it's like a marriage, and one it's a significant other one, each person's the significant other of each other, basically. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.